Next, or the second transformation that we're going to be doing out of 4. So far we have done translations. This is now going to be reflections for the second one that we're going to do. Please make sure you have made this change right here. This one, oops, sorry guys. Please make sure you made this change. I did have it as WS 9-2, but it was the longer of the 2 worksheets, so I switched them. We'll do that one tomorrow on day 2. This is going to be PWS 9-2. Make sure you've corrected that on your note sheet that you're looking at and on the actual note sheet. And we need to review some old concepts before we get there. The first thing that we're going to review is going to be Hoy and Buck's lines, guys. This is going to be it. Everything today is based on you knowing what a horizontal and vertical line looks like. Some of you got this in Algebra 1 very well. Some of you are still struggling. Now is the time to pick it up. I'm going to treat it like you've never seen it. First of all, there's an acronym that says HOY. HOY stands for horizontal lines. Okay. It stands for a 0 slope. And you're writing this down if I'm writing it down. And it stands for y equals a number, like a line that says y equals 5, y equals -3, y equals 0. All of those are horizontal lines. And then they throw this monkey wrench in there. All that is horizontal lines until you get to this one, and this is still a horizontal line. But it has an X in it. The x-axis is a horizontal line. It's at y equals 0, and it goes all the way across like this. But it is called the x-axis because that tells you how to move left or right, which is the x's. But that is a horizontal line, even though it has called the x-axis, guys. Right, the next one is going to be VUX, V-U-X. V stands for vertical. U stands for undefined slope. Guys, if a line is vertical, then when you do slope, rise and run, the run is 0, which means the bottom number of fractions is going to be 0, which it can't be 0. That's why it's called an undefined slope. Okay. Then we've got this x, which is x equals a number. X equals -8. X equals 7. X equals 0. Those are all examples of lines that are going to be vertical, that go straight up and down. But then you have this weirdo down here, and it is the y-axis. The y-axis goes straight up and down, because that's when x equals 0, is right on that y-axis. Okay. Everything is based on that, guys. Everything in the set of notes is based on that, because we're going to be reflecting across horizontal and vertical lines. You've got to know that to be able to do today's assignment. Questions, concerns, anything before we go on? Okay. This is what the problems are going to look. Well, let's talk about what a reflection looks like, guys. So a reflection is, like we said, a transformation. It is going to mirror or reflect something across a line of symmetry. It's also called the line of reflection. Okay, it just means that the two sides are going to be completely equal. In this case, this is going to be your y-axis, is going to be your line of symmetry or your line of reflection. This one right here. That line is going to reflect the points on either side. This was the pre-image, this is the image. And to get from this one to this one, you just count blocks. This is 2 blocks away from that line of symmetry, which means I just go 2 blocks away on this side, and there's my new point. This one is 2 blocks away on this side, so I just count 2 blocks away over here, and here's my new point. This one happens to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks away on this side, so you'd have to go 8 blocks away on this side, and you'd have your new point at A prime. That is how you reflect it. All you do is count blocks, guys. That's all you do. Once you draw the line, you count blocks. That's it. Okay? Now, when you do a reflection, reflections are what kind of motion, guys? Oh, does it change size or shape?
Oh, it's a rigid.
It's rigid because it doesn't change. So it is a rigid motion. And the way that you write a reflection, and this is really important, guys, it's with a capital R, because we will do one called rotations that uses a lowercase r. So you've got to know that reflections are going to be capital R. So a reflection is written with the capital R. it's going to have this equation down here. It's always going to be an equation. It's going to either say x-axis, y-axis, or it's going to be x equals a number, y equals a number. It's always going to be a horizontal or vertical line. Unless you get into higher level math, then they start doing them on slanted lines. That gets a little more complicated. We're not going to get into that. We're only sticking with Hoy and Bucks for now. Okay, this is called the line of reflection or line of symmetry. That's the line that you go reflected across, and then you just put your letters usually in alphabetical order, and then the same thing with the prime mark on them. Okay. Again, being able to determine if the line goes up or down, or left and right, horizontally or vertically, that's going to be the key. Which one is it? You've got to decide that to be able to do these problems. So, let's show you what we mean. Here are 8 problems where we're just reflecting a single point. That's all we're doing is reflecting one single point. Before we even get into reflecting though, I want to go through and make sure you know what direction these lines go. If we are talking about the x-axis, that is this line that goes right here. What kind of line is that? Horizontal. It is horizontal. It goes this way. Okay? So for everyone that says x-axis, I'm going to put the line going like this. Okay? For the y-axis, what direction does that go? Up and down, vertically. It goes like this. This is the direction that both the ones that are doing the x-axis go. You're going to reflect across a vertical line. Okay, now 5 and 6 both have x equals. That means they're both Bucks lines, and Bucks lines go in what direction? Vertical. Bucks, that's what it stands for. B, Bucks, vertical. These two go up and down. The last two for 7 and 8 are going to be y. Since they're both y's, they're going to be Hoy, which means they both go horizontally. There you go. That will help you drastically as you go through. Not having to figure that out while you're doing the problem will make your life much better. Okay, guys, here we go. We are going to reflect our first point. Our first point we're going to be reflecting is point A. A is going to reflect across the x-axis. Here is the x-axis. I'm not going to draw the whole thing because it takes me too long. I'm just doing it right above where that A is. How many blocks away from that x-axis is point A? 3. So then I just go 3 points below there. 1, 2, 3. And here is my new point. Happens to fall right on top of point E. That's okay. Is it always going to fall on another point? No. It just does sometimes. And that is my new ordered pair. What ordered pair would that be at? If I start at the origin, where does that end up? How many over and how many down? Negative 4, negative 3. Good. To the left 4 and down 3. Negative 4, negative 3. If I start at the origin, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Questions? Okay, let's do it again. This time I'm reflecting point B. B is reflecting across my y-axis. Here's my y-axis. How many blocks away from that y-axis is point B? 2. So I go 2 in the other direction. Puts me right on top of point C. This is now going to be called B prime. And I need to know where that ordered pair is. For that ordered pair, we would have to start at the origin and go how many to the right and how many up? 2 what? 2 and 3. 2, 3, 2, and 3, however you want to say it, that is correct. 2, 3, and they're both positive. Okay, the next one, I'll change colors. Let's change to purple. For the next ones, I'm going to be reflecting C across the x-axis. Here's point C. I'm going to reflect across the x-axis, which goes this way. There's my x-axis. That point C is 1, 2, 3 away from that line, so I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3 and put my point right here. Notice it doesn't have to fall on top of another point. It's okay. That's going to be called C prime. And then you have to be able to tell me what ordered that pair that is. I went to the right and down. If I go to the right and down, it's going to be positive, negative. What numbers would they be? 2. I said it and I wrote it. 2, negative 3 would that be correct. Okay, let's do D now. D is now going to reflect across the y-axis, which goes straight up and down, right here. How far away from that axis is point D?
4.
How many is that?
4.
1, 2, 3. Yes, 4. And then I got to go 4 the other direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It actually ends up right on top of point A. And that's going to be called D prime. And what ordered pair is that? If I start from the origin, I would have to go left and then up. How many left? How many up?
Negative 4, positive 3.
-4, 3. Good. You can say positive 3. It's the same thing. -4, 3, -4, positive 3. Same thing. Okay. Yeah, please.
No, when you did B, I
Mhm.
didn't go to
Because I'm reflecting across the y-axis, which is right here. It's going straight up and down. This is the y-axis right here. So I have to do it based on whatever it tells me it's reflecting across. If it went this way, it'd be reflecting over the x-axis. Thank you for asking that question. It's a very good question. The direction you go makes all the difference in the world what point you end up at, guys. Okay, my next two I'm going to do in blue. These are going to be the first two that are reflected across vertical lines that aren't one of the axes. So I'm reflecting point E, which is right here. I'm going to reflect across a vertical line at 1. So I've got a vertical line at 1. So I've got this line that goes like this. This is a vertical line at 1. Okay. That point is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away from that line. So I've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away from it on this side. We're right at the edge of the graph. And that's going to put me at E prime. And what ordered pair would that be if I have to start at the origin and go right and go down? Go right and go down, what would it be? 6, negative 3. Nice. 6, negative 3. Good deal. Okay. Questions? Okay, let's keep going. F. F is going to be underneath my line, so I've got to erase it a little bit so you can see it really clearly, guys. Okay, there's my F. It's going to reflect across a vertical line, one that goes this way. Vertical line. Vertical. At -1. Here is a vertical line at -1. It is only 2 blocks away from that line. So I'm going to go 2 blocks away on this side, and here is my new point. That's F prime. And that is going to be at what ordered pair right there, guys?
Negative 3, negative 2.
-3, -2. Perfect. Guys, that's why we drew these lines first, so we knew which direction the line we were reflecting across was. It helps keep it in order. I don't want to have to think about it every time, so I just go through and do that before I even start. It makes me do better. Hopefully if you'll do it, it'll help you too, not make careless errors. Okay, from there, example 7. Example 7 says, what have we got? G. Where's G? Down here. G, oh, I'm going to change colors again, just so we have different ones. G is right here. G is going to reflect across a horizontal line at 1. So here's a horizontal line at 1. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 away from there. So I'm going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4 away from there, which is going to be called G prime. Okay. Which is going to be what order pair if I have to go to the right and up? 4, 5. There we go. Okay, guys, we got one left. We got H. Where is H? Bottom. There we go. Okay, we're reflecting across a horizontal line at -2. So I'm drawing a horizontal line at -2. I'm reflecting across this right here. It's only 2 away. So if I go up 2, then I gotta keep going up 2 more. Ooh, guys, someone's gonna get this point wrong. This is on the axis. It's gonna have 0 as one of your numbers. What is that ordered pair? 3, 0. 3, 0. Gotta go to the left 3, then don't go up or down. Nicely done. Does anybody have any questions about just the points, the individual points themselves? Anybody? Nothing. Okay, good. Let's keep going. So the next one's going to require you to graph these 3 points on all 4 of the next graphs in order to have a starting picture to graph from. The first point is the point 1, -3, and we're going to call this point A. The second one is going to be 1, -1, and that's going to be called point B. The third one is going to be 4, -2, which is going to go right here, and we're going to call this point C. Connect those points. There you go. Going to take and graph that or reflect it across what it says to reflect it across. But before we do that, guys, before we do anything else, I suggest, so that we make this easier, go ahead and draw this on each one of the next 3 examples the same way. You already know where they need to go. You have that original drawing every time, and then you don't have to do it every time you're doing it. Guys, what kind of shape is this? What kind of triangle? It is what? Nobody sees it? Oh, let me draw it again. Here, that's B. Here is A. And here is C. It's equally split right there. Not equilateral, but you have the right idea. Only 2 sides are the same. So what does that make it? Isosceles. It would be an isosceles triangle. This would be B. This would be A. And this would be C. I know some of y'all draw faster than others, so I'll wait right there, give you a minute. It's okay. Everybody draws at a different pace. I do this for a living, so I'll get it done. We ready to reflect? I see some of y'all doing it already. Here we go. So we've got y-axis. This is the y-axis. This is what we're going to be reflecting across. This line right here. This is the y-axis. If we're reflecting across this, we're just going to count blocks. B is 1 block away here, so we're going to go 1 block on this side. We're going to put a point and call it B prime. The A is only 1 block away from that line, so we're going to go 1 block on this side. We're going to put a point and we're going to call it A prime. The C is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks away from that line. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks away on this side. And you have your C prime. Now naming those is going to be more important than anything else. The graph is only a little bit. The points individually are going to count separately, each one of them. So they're worth more points. So you've got to be able to tell me what those points are. So where is A prime? -1, -3. Good. -1, -3 would put me on A. B would be in the same line, so it's going to be at -1 again, but you only go down how much? 1. So -1, -1 for B. And then C, that last point that we're going to be looking at, that C right here is going to go all the way over to -4 and then down 2. So -4, -2. Very good. Okay. Questions, concerns, anything about that process? Okay, let's do it again. Here we go. Guys, across the x-axis, draw the x-axis. We're reflecting across that. So all you do is count blocks. For the A, it is 1, 2, 3 blocks away. So you go 1, 2, 3 blocks above that line. We call it A prime. The B is 1 block away here, so it's going to be 1 block away here, so it's going to be B prime. The C is going to be 2 blocks away from that red line, so we're going to go 2 blocks above that red line, which is going to put me at C prime. Once you draw them, though, again, I keep trying to explain that the ordered pairs are worth more than the graph itself. So you've got to be able to name these points, not just put them on the graph. A is going to be to the right 1 and up 3. If it's to the right and up, what would that be? Both positive. It'd be 1, 3. They'd both be positive. For the second one, it's again to the right and up, but you're going right 1, but you're only going up 1. So 1, 1. And then what would the last one be for C? 4, 2. Perfect. 4, 2. Good. Fine. Now those are both the axes. Now we're going to do the two that are actual lines that say Hoy and Bucks on them. They're going to be one X line, one Y line. Let's show you those real quick. Questions before I go?
So you start at the 3 and then you go left.
Start at the what? To find these ordered pairs? Is that what you're asking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you would start at the origin. This is the origin, where the lines cross, the X and Y axis cross. And I'm going to move to find them. So let me change to a different color so you can see it. So if I'm starting here at the origin where I'm at in blue, to get to the A, I would have to go over to the right 1 and then up 3 blocks. So 1, 3 is my first point. To get to B, I would have to go to the right 1 and up just 1 block. So that's 1, 1. And then for C, I have to go 4 to the right and up 2. So it'd be 4, 2. Is that better? Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you for asking. Okay, guys, here we go. Last 2 of these, and then we've just got the points to reflect. They're called double reflections. They're actually really usually some of the best ones. I don't know why, because you have to reflect twice, but they're usually really good. Okay, here we go, guys. This is going to be a Hoy line. If it's a Hoy line, it's going to be horizontal. So we need to draw a horizontal line at y equals 2. So we're going to draw a horizontal line right here at y equals 2. Goes all the way across. All right. We're going to be reflecting across this blue line. The A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks away from there. So then we'd have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks away. We have to put our new point. We have to call it A prime. For the second one, for the B is going to be 1, 2, 3 blocks away. So I'm going to have to go up 1, 2, 3 blocks away. And I'm going to call it B prime. And then how many blocks is C away? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So we have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And there would be C prime. And guys, the reason you draw this shape on here, don't just give the names of the points, is because you can tell, is it the same shape? Did you do what it said? Did you just reflect it up onto that top part? If it changes shape, you know you've done something wrong in your counting in your blocks. Now you've got to name your A prime, your B prime, and your C prime. So the ordered pairs for A prime, B prime, and C prime. For A, it would be to the right 1 and up 7. So 1, 7. For B prime, it would be to the right 1 and up 5. And the last one for C, it would be to the right 4 and up, is it 6? Okay, so it'd be to the right 4 and up 6, so positive 4, positive 6. Okay. Questions? Okay, last one. We're going to be reflecting across a line that is an X line, which means it's going to be a Bucks line. If it's a Bucks line, it's going to be vertical, straight up and down, vertical. So we need a vertical line at -3. Here's -3. Just draw a vertical line through -3. Guys, these don't need to be pretty. We're not getting exact. They do need to be reasonable. Don't have your line going like this. That won't work. You can't count off that. But I mean, if it's not exactly on the line, you know it's supposed to be on there. It's okay. Don't have a panic attack. All you're doing is counting blocks away from there. So for the A, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Since it's 4 blocks away on this side, we're going to go 4 blocks away on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to put our new point. It's going to be called A prime. Then we're going to do the same with B. It's the same distance away, so it's not hard. It's 4 this way, so it's going to go 4 this way. It's going to be right here in line with that A. It's going to be B prime. Now the C's a little further away. How many blocks away is the C? Is it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So I've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Puts me right on the edge of the graph with C prime. But it did reflect it correctly. It is still the same shape. And we just need to name the A prime, the B prime, and the C prime. So to name these, you're just going to count blocks. You're just seeing how far do you have to go to the left and how far do you have to go down. For the A, you got to go 7 to the left. That's -7. And then you've got to go down 3, which makes it -3. If A is -7, 3, what's B? -7, 1. And then C would be all the way over at -10 and down 2. So -10 and 2. Okay, guys. That's your reflections on those.
Wouldn't it be -1 and -2?
Negative what?
-1 and -2?
What number? You have to be
It's going down. What we're on right now?
-2. That's what we said. -10, -2. Did I not write it?
No, you said +1, +2.
I apologize. Thank you. Yes, it should be. Thank you. I think I said it and then I didn't write it. Or I said it backwards. I apologize if I did. I said down.
Yeah.
Odd. We good now? Thank you for saying something. I love that this group actually pays attention and says something if I get it wrong. Okay, guys. Last thing is going to be the double reflections. The double reflections are usually, like I said, for some reason, better than the single reflections, and it doesn't make any sense why that would be true, but it is. First of all, before we start, a y-axis line is going to go this way. A y line or a hoy line is going to go this way. You need to know that to be able to do this problem. For the next one, this is an X line or one that is vertical, so it goes this way. And a Y line is a hoy line, so it goes this way. You have to have that before you can start anything. Okay. The next thing you have to do is graph point X. Point X would be at the point -2, 5. That would mean you would go to the left 2 and you would go up 5 and you would call it X. Go to the left 2, go up 5, put a point, call it X. Do that on both your graphs. -2, 5. Okay. We are going to reflect 2 times on the same point. So we're going to start by reflecting across the y-axis. Guys, here's the y-axis. Okay, if we want to reflect across this, we're going to go 2 points to get to the axis, and then we're going to go 2 points to get to here. This is going to be what's called my layover spot. Guys, it's a layover. It's like being in a plane. You stop in Atlanta and then you fly to somewhere else. We're not staying here, we're just stopping here for a minute. Then we're going to reflect across y equals 1. Here is a horizontal line at a positive 1. Here is a horizontal line at 1. And I want to reflect across this line. How far away from this line is this point? How many, guys? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to put my new point. This is my actual destination. That's my X prime. That's where I'm trying to get to. And that's the ordered pair that you have to name for me. What ordered pair would that be if I go to the right and down? 2, -3. Nicely done. 2, -3. Okay, and our last one today, we are going to be reflecting across a vertical line at x equals 2. Here's a vertical line at x equals 2. That one is going to be 4 away from that. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side of it. There's my layover spot. It's just temporary. I'm not staying there. Then I'm going to reflect across a line that is horizontal at -2. Here's my horizontal line at -2. Now that's a lot further away, guys. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away from that line. So I've got to go down 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's way down here, guys. This is where I want to end up. That's my x prime. So I've got to go to the right and down. So it's going to be positive, negative, but what's that ordered pair going to be? 6, -9. And there you go, guys. That's your notes for today. Good job. I know it's a little bit longer set of notes. That's why I give you a very short worksheet. It's just one-sided, just a little